Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of interiorism to living free. And part of living free is cooking delicious meals. Every now and then I love to just have a different video, a fun video, and this video is going to be about cooking, guys. We're going to be making some authentic Birria Tacos. I'm going to be showing you how to make the sauce, how to make the meat, the tacos, everything. You know, this is sort of a fun response to a friend of mine who was saying that, how do you make ancho chile sauce? He was saying that that was not a thing that could be done. Well, we're going to show you how in this video. And again, if you find these videos of value, if you find a lot of these videos fun, if you find them useful, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button below. Not only will you be joining a community of master manifestors, you'll be getting alerts to all the videos as they come out, and you'll be helping me get the word out. So enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. This is cooking off the prison grid, making some delicious tacos al birria, of course with my birria tacos, of course with my commentary interspersed. So enjoy. So hey guys, I'm boiling up some water. We're gonna make some tacos de birria. It's gonna be a beautiful recipe. I've already de-seeded and peeled the stems out of these peppers here. We have ancho, we have chile de árbol, guajillo, and we're gonna cook them. I've already cut up some onions here, got some garlic, and some tomatoes. We're doing this the night before, and then tomorrow is when we're gonna have the main event. So. Okay, now we have this water to a good boil. I'm going to go ahead and add all of the chiles here. We've already de-seeded. Already looks really good. Then I'm going to put 4 tomatoes. Hopefully there's enough room in this small pot for all this. I think there will be. 4 tomatoes. We're going to show you how to do this. I'm going to put a bunch of garlic here because we like garlic. And then I'm going to put a whole big onion. And I might take some of the water out of there. Then we're going to get this to a good boil and let these soften up. So we'll see you on the other side. So guys, I got some round roasts and I also got some chuck roasts here. And I put them, little trick, I put them in the freezer for about 45 minutes so they'll be easier to cut. And we're going to cut them into smaller pieces about like this so they'll cook quicker. And then we're going to show you how we season them. And we're going to let that marinate overnight. So these are to a pretty good boil. Remember, you want to control the temperature. I had to adjust it down. I took the lid off. We're going to wait till at least the onions and everything, all the peppers get very soft so we can blend them. But right now, just keep stirring it every now and then. Make sure nothing sticks to the bottom of the pot. And looks like probably now we're going to have to turn it back up a little bit, but just keep controlling that temperature. Keep it to a nice boil, but not so it's overflowing. So, see you when these get done. So guys, I'm really glad that I'm preparing this meat the night before. That was quite an exercise cutting all this, but look at this. Look at the marbling on the roast here, and then the other round roast that I've gotten there. We're going to mix it all together, but we're going to season this. So I'm going to put some sea salt, good amount. And we're going to put some smoked paprika here. Okay amounts. We're seasoning a lot of this, so this is about 4 pounds of meat. So got a good amount of paprika. We're going to put this mesquite seasoning, which is going to give a really good wood taste. So I've got to open that up here. I'm going to put a good amount of that, probably like half the thing here. And then we're going to put some garlic powder. And that's it, guys. So we're going to mix it all up. We're going to season the meat, and I'll show you the finished project here, or the finished product here. I'll show you the finished product here. Okay, guys, so let's check on these chiles here, these peppers. And these are pretty much about done. Everything's really soft. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these on a plate here. Look at those. Look at that. It's all very soft, ready to blend. We're going to put it on a plate. We're going to put in a blender, blend all this together. And we're going to tell you what spices we put in there. So stay tuned. So guys, here we are in the moment of truth here. I've got these beautifully softened peppers and tomatoes and all of that. Of course, the kitchen's small, so we got to economize space here. I've got the blender here. And we're going to have to do this in layers, I believe. Maybe. We'll see if it all fits. This is a big blender, but I'm going to have to start putting these in there in the blender, right? We're just going to put those right in the blender. Yeah, and I'm thinking because it's such a lot of material here, we're going to do 2 blends here. So I'm just going to put half of it. I just want to show you the seasoning that we're going to put in it, guys. The beautiful seasoning and how we're going to do this to make this is basically going to be the stew or the juice that we're going to braise these tacos in. So I'm going to show you here. So the first thing I want to do is put cinnamon, guys. That's right. Cinnamon. This is going to give it a delicious flavor. Not too much, just a little bit. Then we're going to put some coriander, which is cilantro. You know, for very long, I didn't know that coriander and cilantro were synonymous, but we're going to go ahead and put a little good amount of the coriander in here. And I'm going to put some oregano, which I'm going to just put some of the whole oregano in here, just a little bit, because it's really good. It's a lot better than the ground oregano. I like the whole oregano. And last but not least, guys, we're going to put what in Spanish are called clavos, these little spices here. We're going to put some of those in there. That's going to give it a good flavor. And we're going to do the same thing for the next batch. Then, one more thing I'm going to add, guys. It was supposed to be apple cider vinegar, but I couldn't find my apple cider vinegar. Sherry vinegar is going to be just as good. I'm going to put a little bit of sherry vinegar just to give it that little taste, just a tiny bit of it here. And then, guys, to top it off, we're going to put some beef stock that I had. Just a little bit of beef broth, just to give it that little bit of watery consistency. Because remember, this is going to be cooking for at least 3 hours. Then, of course, we're going to put the lid on. I'm going to show you how we're going to grind it here. This stuff already smells delicious, guys. We're going to grind it just little by little here. So make sure that's on correctly. Looks like it is. And then we're going to do low. Turn it off. And I'm going to see about the consistency of that. Let me get a spoon. Well, we can use this spoon here. Yeah. That looks like a very good consistency, guys. So there you have it. We've got it all ground up, and we're going to do that with the next batch. We're going to put this all in the refrigerator. We're going to come back tomorrow to cook this stuff, guys. Look at this, guys. This is the salsa. And someone was asking me, how are you going to make ancho chili sauce? Well, look at that, guys. And it's tiny bit watery. Of course, we're going to have to add more water tomorrow because we're going to be cooking this We're going to be braising our meat in this, guys, for the tacos de birria. This is incredible. I will see you guys in about 16 hours. We're going to put this in the refrigerator, let it sit. Tastes delicious, guys. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, guys, so it is the morning after here, the day after we started cooking all this yesterday. I am heating up this beautiful sauce. And we still have some sauce in the bowl that I kept in the refrigerator. To get that out, I'm just going to add just a little bit of beef stock, guys, because we don't want to lose any of that goodness. So I'm going to add some beef stock. We want this to be a little bit watery, just a tiny bit. So add a little bit of beef stock here. We're going to try to mix this down from the sides here, like so. We're going to try to get as much as we can out of here, guys. Just like that. Just like that. It's already coming to a beautiful boil. We're going to heat that up. Then we're going to sear the meat, guys. And then we're going to put it on the stove the traditional way and braise that for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how long it takes for the meat to get to the good consistency. So I've got all of that, most of it at least, as much as I could. I'm going to add the beef stock to that. And we're going to sort of let that just come to an easy boil. Then I'm going to show you what we do next, guys. I'll show you what we do next. Guys, look at this beef, guys. We let it marinate overnight. Just look at that. So we don't want to crowd this pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in layers. So pot's heating up, probably medium-high heat, guys. We don't want to heat it up too much. We don't want to burn these. We just want to sear them a little bit. We want to brown them a little bit, get that Maillard reaction. So I'm going to put some olive oil in here, just a little bit. And I'm going to start doing this meat. Let's get that mix there. This is to a boil, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on low heat because we want that to be added a little bit later here, the sauce. So I'm going to start putting the meat in there. Some of this delicious meat. Look at that, guys. Look at that. I'm going to start listening to that sizzle, guys. I'm going to start sizzling that. Probably about 2 layers of this or 2 groups of this. 2 or 3. We're going to just let those brown, guys. And then we're going to add the sauce to it. And we're going to braise it. Really, listen to that. Look at that, guys. I love that sizzle sound. Sounds and smells incredible. That's about it for this. We're just going to sort of let these brown. We're going to brown both sides. We're going to let you know what happened from there. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Remember, guys, you're the master of the heat. I've had to adjust it up again. I've been adjusting it up and down. Adjust it, guys. You don't want it to be too high, but you also don't want it to be too low. And we are browning this. These are done. I'm about to take this out, plate it, and put the other layer of meat in there. It's taking 3 layers. We don't want to overcrowd the pot. These juices right here, guys, are going to act as the base or the sofrito of our little stew here. So, see ya. These bad boys, I'm even going to turn the heat down. These bad boys are browned on both sides, guys. Browned on both sides. Not too horribly cooked. Just browned on both sides, horribly cooked. Not too cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this meat now. And we're going to add the other layer. We're going to plate them. We're going to add the other layer. We're going to do, look at that. And guys, the mesquite, especially the mesquite that we put last night, smells wonderful, guys. So we're going to plate these. And then I'm going to put the other batch. I'm going to show you what I do with all of it here in a second. Look at this meat, guys. I could just eat this right here, but the question remains, why not eat it right now? Why braise it? Well, we're going to braise it, guys, Because by the time we get done with this meat is going to fall apart. We're going to be able to tear it apart. We're going to make tacos with it. It's going to be just soft, melt in your mouth. We're going to show you how in a few minutes, guys, or a few hours, rather. So these are pretty much brown, guys, pretty much brown. So what are we going to do next? We've got all the rest of the friends here. We're going to start the lightning round. Hope you're ready for the lightning round. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put this meat all in there, guys. We're going to put it all in there. Look at all that meat. So once I poured all that meat back in there, we're going to take the salsa. And guys, we're going to pour that salsa in there. There, guys. Lights up. Look at that, guys. Pour that all on top of the meat. Look at that. I'm going to get the rest of this off. Look at that, guys. Now what are we going to do? We're going to put this to a boil, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to let it come to a boil. We're going to let it sit for 10 minutes boiling. Then we're going to turn the heat down, and we're going to braise this for probably about 2 to 3 hours, guys. Enjoy. Look at this, guys. This is to a slow boil. We're going to boil that for about 10 minutes now. Here's the deal. We've got some beef stock here. We're going to keep adding beef stock if we see that it needs water. Right now, it looks sufficiently watery. But as it dries out, if it dries out, we're going to be using some beef stock to keep that watered up. We're going to see how soft this meat gets, guys. So we're going to let this boil for a few more minutes. We're going to put a lid on it. And we're going to go to town with this braising, guys. We're going to do it on top of the stove today, just for convenience. You can also do it in the oven. And we're just going to let that braise, guys. Look how beautiful that is, ladies and gentlemen. So this is already smelling wonderful, guys. And I want you to see this here. Take the lid off. This is exactly how it should be cooking. Just a low simmer, guys. And you want to stir it. You just want to stir it probably once every 30 to 45 minutes, which we want to do. We want to make sure nothing's sticking. We want to make sure there's enough water in there, which there is, because we don't want these to become too dry. You want to take whatever's off the bottom to the top. And I love braising, guys. This already smells wonderful. And braising, you knew we were going to tie it in with some law of assumption here, with some manifesting. This is exactly how you manifest. You want to just let it slow cook. You don't want to force anything. You want to check on it every few minutes, but you just want to let it slow cook, guys. Allow it to do its magic. Don't try to make anything happen. And this is cooking off the prison grid. And guys, the quality of restaurants on the prison grid anyway, it's just getting horrific. I used to love eating at restaurants. We hardly do anymore. I cook everything at home because I can make it much better, much cheaper. There's no need to give your money to the prison grid. Cook for yourself, guys. It's going to be much more healthy. It's going to be much more delicious. This, guys, we're going to revisit this. We're going to stir it every 30, 45 minutes. We're going to revisit it about 2.5 hours, see how soft the meat is. Then we're going to make the tortillas. We're going to make the tacos. I'm going to show you exactly how. For this cooking off the prison grid, delicious, authentic birria tacos, guys, except it's made with beef instead of lamb, but that's okay. So we'll see you in a bit. So guys, one final step. We're about 10, 15 minutes away from the first trial, the first moment of truth. And one final step, guys, I've got some finely chopped cilantro, fresh cilantro. And this could cook for 10 more minutes. It could cook for another hour. I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of fresh cilantro on this. You can see it like that. Fresh cilantro, guys. This is just going to give it that edge, that fresh cilantro flavor edge. Where's my little spatula here? We're going to stir this in. Look at that, guys. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to give this about probably 5, 10 more minutes. Then we're going to try a piece of meat, see how tender it is, and see if it needs to cook longer. It's been cooking for about 2.5 hours. So stay with me while I show you this beautiful meat, how this comes out. Just braise it here on the stove, guys. It's braising beautifully, if I do say so myself. So, guys, it's been about 5 more minutes. I can't resist. I'm going to do the moment of truth here. The first try, guys, this is how you know if it's done. You open it up. Look how beautiful that's just simmering very softly, very nicely. I'm going to take out a piece of meat, guys. I'm going to take out a piece of meat. Let's say this one right here. Or maybe this one. This is the one I could get here. I'll plate that, guys. Plate that piece of meat. Let's see how this meat responds to a fork. And I have no idea on the stove house. Ooh, look at that, guys. It's cutting nicely. This one's a little bit fatty, but let me try that. You know what? The meat tastes delicious, guys, but I'm going to say I'm going to let it cook for another hour, guys, because it could be a lot softer. So we're going to let this meat cook for another hour. Then we're going to come back and see how that turned out, guys. So see you in an hour. Tastes delicious, by the way. One more hour of simmering, guys. So we're waiting for this to braise, guys, and I thought I'd come to the library, come to the study here. You know the beauty of braising, the beauty of slow cooking? We talked about it in this video a few slides ago during the cooking, but it just gives you a lot of time to sit down and meditate while you wait, have beautiful conversations, maybe have a glass of wine or whatnot with loved ones, friends. It's very conducive to meditating, to talking, and to being together. It's basically what I call set it and forget it. You just have to go stir it every 30 to 45 minutes, which is fun. But I was just sitting here meditating, and the epiphany came to me, and I'm going to do another video about this to develop it. But Neville's ladder technique, guys, and I'm sure all of you know about, at least those who've been in the manifesting community know about Neville Goddard's ladder technique. It was in a very, very short description. When he would give classes back in the 50s and 60s, he would tell people, okay, I want you to do this technique so you can prove to yourself manifestation. He said, I want you to imagine yourself climbing a ladder before you go to sleep. And you imagine that for 3 days. And he taught him how to do it. Basically, climb the ladder with your imaginary hand, your imaginary foot, and so on. And you do that before you go to sleep. And this is, of course, a principle in manifesting. It's very symbolic. You basically imagine your desire, and then you let it go into sleep, or you let it go into the silence. There are many techniques for that, or no techniques. We'll talk about that in this channel. But you basically have your subconscious believe that it's already done. But then he said, what I want you to do is I want you to write down and put in your wallet and write this down everywhere and repeat it all day long. I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And the amazing thing, this happened with me a few years ago. I tried this, guys, and I have another video about it, but I said I will not climb a ladder. Then I ended up having to climb a ladder for something at work. And I did not know it until I was on the ladder. Then I said, oh my God, I climbed the ladder. So you can prove this to yourself, you'll do it. But this ladder story actually proves two things. It goes into a lot of things that we've been talking about in this channel recently. First of all, you can't do anything wrong. You can't do it wrong, guys. You can't screw up your manifestation unless you believe you can. Even if you believe you can, you can't. Because what Neville told people to do, think about this, it was the exact opposite of what you should do to manifest. In fact, most manifestation aficionados would say, well, if you say you're not going to do it and you repeat it, that's going to vitiate your manifestation. But clearly it doesn't. So if you imagine something, guys, and you get into the state of that, you can self-sabotage for the rest of the day and it won't matter. As long as you're in the state of that, as long as you've gotten into the state of that at least once. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. That's the proof. The second thing is, guys, is it also proves the other side of that coin. Anything you focus on negatively and try to push away, it will still come to you. In many cases, it will come faster. So if you say, I do not want sickness, and you try to push against that, or I do not want war, and you push against that. Pushing against things are going to bring it to you pretty quickly. No, what you want to do is you want to focus only on what you want. And Mother Teresa had a great saying, and this was quoted in one of the books of Trevor Blake, and he talks about it a lot. When she was asked about war protesting, Mother Teresa said, I'm not anti-war, I'm for peace. So don't try to figure out what you're against, or figure out what you're against, but then go very quickly to what you're for, guys. And I think those two lessons are implicit in that latter technique by Neville Goddard, is that you can't do anything wrong, even if you try to make a mistake. And Gary Vee talks about this. I recommend trying to screw up on purpose, because once you fail, guys, or screw up anyway, it's only up from there. So try to screw up sometimes. It's no problem. You can't screw it up, because once you attain that state, it will and must manifest on the outer no matter what you do. So it's not about behavior, guys. It's not about actions. It's not about hard work. It's simply about becoming that person, getting into that identity, and then it must happen on the outer. What we teach you on this channel is don't care about the outer. You're going to feel much better in the journey to that. So just a little observation here. We've got about 30 more minutes. We're going to go try the meat again in this moment of truth. And then we're going to make the tacos, guys. It's going to be a lightning round. We're going to show you how. We're going to enjoy a delicious, well-awaited lunch. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So I'm here for the second trial, the second moment of truth. I sure hope it's ready, because I'm hungry, guys. So we're going to take some of this. Look at this, how it's just beautifully braising. Let's take some of this meat out and try it, guys. Second moment of truth here. I'm excited. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get me a little spoon, take out a piece of this meat, and we're going to see. It already feels soft, guys. It already feels pretty soft. We're going to see what happens here. I'm going to plate this. Put that in there. Let's see how this bad boy responds to a fork here. Guys, that is soft, guys. This is soft, guys. I'm going to try it. This is a little bit fatty piece, but we're going to try it here. Guys. That is melt in your mouth soft, guys. This meat is ready to go. It's delicious, guys. So what we're going to do, we are going to take all this meat out. So here's how we're going to do it, guys. We want to use one of these, right, with the holes in it, because we want the sauce and the meat to be separate, because we're going to use the sauce actually to make the tortillas. So here's how I'm going to get the meat out. I'm going to take it out. We're going to shake it off like this. We're going to get as much sauce off the meat as possible. We're going to plate that. So just like so. I want to shake it off as much as I can here, as much as possible here, and plate that. We're going to spend a few minutes doing that. I'm going to tear up the meat basically into smaller pieces. Then I'm going to show you how to make the tacos in our lightning round. So stay tuned for that. I'm just going to get all this out, tear it up. I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. I've only got one hand, but I'm using the fork and the knife, and I'm just cutting this meat up into smaller pieces. It's going to be soft. All of the tacos are going to be sort of made with pieces like this. So tender and delicious, guys. So tender and delicious. We'll show you when we're making the tacos here in just a second. Okay, guys, so we're going to just make one taco to give an example here. We've got our sauce here. I'm going to put it on both sides here. Then I'm going to drop the taco in here. We've got to let it sort of cook until semi-crispy on one side. Just sort of let that cook. Make sure that doesn't stick to the pot there. Might have been a little bit too high heat, but we're going to just cook that till it sort of starts bubbling up. Then we're going to flip it over, sort of let it get crispy. on the other side, I'm gonna put some of the meat in there, guys. It's gonna be delicious, guys. Some of that birria meat, and we got some mozzarella cheese that I just got out of the refrigerator. We're going to put that mozzarella cheese on, just like so. Already looks delicious. I like a lot of mozzarella cheese on there. And then we're gonna flip the taco, like so. We're gonna let that bad boy get crispy on one side. Then we're gonna get crispy on the other. We're gonna flip it till the cheese very nicely melts. We're gonna show you the finished project or the finished product here in a minute. Now for the moment of truth, guys. We've got our birria taco, guys, which I've tried. I've got the salsa, which I'm going to dip in and take a bite. I might not be exaggerating and say that this is the best taco I've ever had in my life. So, guys, we're going to eat. We're going to enjoy it. Make this recipe. Let us know how it went in the comments. Birria tacos, guys. We'll see you very soon. Well, guys, we have to test these tacos de birria out on my best critic here, my biggest critic, see what she thinks. So, here we go. I don't know. I think it's a success. I think she said that the taco was very good. How'd you like it? She said it was pretty good. Now, I myself think that these are pretty good. They came out very well, ladies and gentlemen. So, bon appetit.